In the 18th century, empires were rewritten by iron and fire. The British Empire, confident and unstoppable, believed no kingdom could resist its might. But in the sun-scorched lands of southern India, a different kind of storm was gathering, a force that would shake the foundations of imperial ambition itself. A boy, born not in a palace of gold, but in the chaos of war. His education was the clang of steel and the roar of cannons. A teenage commander, outsmarting seasoned generals. A visionary, a warrior whose spirit was as fierce as the tiger he embodied. This is the story of Tipu Sultan, the tiger of Mysore, and the revolutionary weapon he unleashed upon the world. As the Mughal Empire crumbled, a power vacuum consumed India. Into this chaos stepped the British East India Company, a trading enterprise that had mutated into a ruthless war machine with its own army and an insatiable hunger for conquest. After seizing the vast wealth of Bengal, it turned its gaze south. There stood the kingdom of Mysore, dynamic, modernizing and defiant. Ruled by the military genius Hyder Ali, a man who rose from obscurity through sheer brilliance. He understood that survival demanded more than courage. It required innovation. While European armies dismissed rockets as mere toys, Hyder Ali saw their terrifying potential. He formed a corps of 1,200 rocketeers, whose volleys were designed to shatter enemy lines and panic cavalry. At his side was his son, Tipu, a scholar, a polyglot, a technophile, who absorbed every lesson in strategy and leadership from the front lines. When Tipu Sultan ascended the throne in 1782, he inherited a kingdom at war and a vision poised for revolution. He focused on his father's rockets, identifying their fundamental flaw, the weak paper and bamboo casings. His solution was devastatingly simple, yet brilliant. He crafted tubes of hammered iron. This single innovation created rockets that could fly over 2 kilometers, with unprecedented range and power. But Tipu didn't stop there. He built factories to standardize production, trained thousands of soldiers in trajectory and angles, and designed mobile launchers that could fire volleys of 5 to 10 rockets at once, a multiple rocket system centuries ahead of its time. Some rockets carried explosive charges, others were fitted with spinning blades, cutting down everything in their path. This was not just new weaponry, it was a new form of warfare. The full terrifying power of these rockets was unleashed at the Battle of Pollilur on September 10, 1780. A disciplined British force of 4,000 men was surrounded, then the sky filled with fire. Rockets screamed and skidded across the ground in a relentless, hellish barrage. One found its mark, a direct hit on a British ammunition wagon. The cataclysmic explosion tore the enemy lines apart. As chaos reigned, Mysorean cavalry charged into the breach. By nightfall, the British force was annihilated in one of the empire's most devastating defeats in India. As Sultan, Tipu proved to be more than a warrior. He was a transformative leader. He modernized his administration, invested in science and industry, built libraries, and revitalized the economy through silk production and irrigation projects. He looked outward, seeking alliances with France and the Ottoman Empire, understanding that only a united front could counter the British threat. Amidst the battles and politics, Tipu Sultan's personal life was no less compelling. His wives, Ruqayya Banu Begum and Khadija Zaman Begum, were his anchors in a turbulent world. Through years of war, their bond endured, love blooming even in the shadows of cannons and blood. They shared whispered plans of Mysore's future, comforted each other in moments of grief, and stood as pillars beside a king whose every decision shaped the fate of thousands. Their loyalty and devotion were a source of strength that fortified Tipu's indomitable will. Alarmed by his growing power, the British conspired with his rivals. In the Third Anglo-Mysore War, outnumbered and betrayed, Tipu fought with relentless fury. Forced into a harsh treaty, the price was excruciating: the surrender of his 2 young sons as hostages. With stoic dignity, he handed them over. He had surrendered their freedom, but never his honor or courage. This searing humiliation forged his resolve into iron. By 1799, the British had had enough. They launched the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War with the largest army ever seen in India, laying siege to his capital, Srirangapatnam. Worse yet, betrayal came from within. His own trusted minister, Mir Sadiq, sabotaged the defenses and left the gates undefended. But Tipu Sultan would not flee. On May 4, 1799, he made his choice. He donned his finest robes, not for surrender, but for a final stand. He took up his sword and led the defense personally. He fought in the streets, his blade flashing until the very end, falling where he stood, a soldier king to his last breath. The British cheered, believing the tiger was finally slain. In the aftermath, they plundered his city and discovered his arsenal, thousands of rockets and advanced launchers. Recognizing their value, they shipped them to England, where an inventor named William Congreve reverse-engineered Tipu's designs. The resulting Congreve rockets were soon deployed across the world, from the Napoleonic Wars to far-reaching conflicts that would follow. Tipu Sultan died defending his kingdom, a warrior who faced impossible odds. But his vision, innovation, and the love and support of his family created a legacy that transcended defeat. The tiger of Mysore fell, but his roar, a roar of defiance, of brilliance, and of unyielding spirit, echoes across centuries, a sound that will never ever be silenced.